Welcome back, everybody, to Pull Hook Golf, the podcast. This is episode number 111. Again, I'm your host, Matt Cook. This is co-host, Buttsy. And on tonight's episode, we've got quite a bit going on here, folks. We've got the Players' Championship recap. We got the upcoming Valspar Championship preview. We've got the Swanie style segment. We've got PIF and the PGA Tour. Where are they at with their merger right now and everything going on there? And then a little bit of live golf talk at the end. We always save the best for last. And then we do want to thank our sponsors before we do begin, which number one, Swanie's Golf. I'm wearing the Swanie's cap tonight. This is the desert polo here, folks. I mean, we got some cowboy hats. We got some cacti.
Blown away every week, dude. I mean,
I just keep bringing it. Just absolutely keep bringing it. I feel like we've got like the official like desk set up this time. And then, of course, we also want to thank Bushwood and their Looper vodka, folks. I am a huge fan of that. It is very clean. If you're not a whiskey person, go after the Looper. It is fantastic. It's just like having a caddy right by your side.
it's unbelievable, and we enjoyed it on Sunday, I think.
We sure did. We definitely enjoyed that one. And my God, it was fantastic. So, folks, by the way, you can go to swanies.co and utilize promo code PullHookGolf25 at checkout for 25% off all your apparel and everything at Swanie's. And then at Bushwood, same promo code except 20. So 20% off. So PullHookGolf20, 20% off at Bushwood.com. Let's get into this show. But before we do tackle into the world of professional golf, we got to talk a little bit about professional putting, because we were at Putting World and the World Putting Tour. We were there on Sunday. We had no idea what to expect. We did a full 6.5 hour broadcast live. First time ever for either of us.
It was a marathon, and it was awesome.
I've gotten a lot of DMs today that people want more events out of us. They want us to commentate pickleball. They want us to commentate youth soccer, like all these weird, like great things. Maybe some ping pong matches. Who knows? Yeah, it could be absolutely fantastic. So we did do commentary there. If you haven't seen the clips on social media, go to Pull Hook Golf, go to _Buttsy, and you will see some pretty exciting clips that took place there. There's more stuff. I mean, there's 6.5 hours worth of content to where we were just going back and forth. It was awesome. We had an absolute blast there. And the good old winner, Jeff Gibraltar. We just kept calling him Jeff G. Jeff G. Former Hooters Tour player coming out of Dallas, Texas. We had the Swedish putting team. Give them a little shout out. They've been sweeping the nation with winning all these putting events. They did not get the job done on Sunday because Jeff G did. And if you watch the one video, we were going nuts. Somebody said it was like you were scaring a raccoon out of your trash.
Literally, there was just pure adrenaline. Way too many beers by that point in time. I mean, we were about 5.8 hours into the broadcast. Jeff G coming down the stretch. He carries one, and all you got to do is go watch that clip. I lost my.
We both did. We were going absolutely crazy. Jeff G was pointing at us up in the booth as we were in the upper deck there, but it was absolutely fantastic. Go to the YouTube page to go watch the full 6.5 hour stream. We had an hour pregame because we thought it started at 10, but it really started at 11. Just got bamboozled there a little bit, but that's okay. And then you could also go to our millions.co page as well. All right, without further ado, let's get into the Players' Championship recap here. And it did not disappoint, folks. Did not disappoint at all. High drama, great finish. Scottie Scheffler going back-to-back. So what I mean by that, if you're not paying attention to golf all that much, he won the Players' Championship last year. Won it again this year, but he also won the Arnold Palmer. So also won the Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill last week. So he goes back to back, and he played injured. I mean, What did you think of Scottie Scheffler this week?
Injury part. What was the injury? I don't know. What was the injury with?
He had a neck injury, so he had a nerve tension going on in the neck, hurt his backswing, so he couldn't really get into his full swing there.
Okay. All right. Well, given that, yeah. God, this might be the most. I think I saw a lot of people say this. I saw a lot of comments saying might be the most dominant player since Tiger, which is just a massive statement. But I don't know. The golf has spoken for itself, I think, folks. So what he's done in the last few weeks here. I mean, what I see a stat, $8.2 million or some shit like that in 8 days. So
lot of money. Doesn't even need PIF, the Magic Dragon, to spew out any of that. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Now, Scottie Scheffler wins by 1. If you've seen the highlights and everything, Wyndham Clark was chasing him down the stretch. Just had a fantastic run at the very end. However, he came up just short. So on 16, he hit a beautiful drive. And by the way, beginning part of the round, he did not play great.
No.
So he was struggling, mediocre in terms of his ball striking and so forth. And then just the mettle of this guy to really lock it in and really push through and just get locked in around his game in that final round on the back 9. But he hit a draw on 16, a beautiful draw. That's not a shot shape. He's a big cutter of the golf ball. Yeah. So for him to be hitting draws, that was pretty damn impressive. I mean, that takes a lot of balls in and of itself to do. And then showing that metal, 16, middle of the fairway, hits the green in 2, hit it to, I believe, about 10 feet. Just misses that putt for eagle, which that would have been great. At that point when he missed that eagle putt, because we're in putting world for the World Putting Tour Challenge, and they had it on the TV in a distance. We caught the last 3 holes, and I was like, oh, he's done, because who's going to birdie 17 and then birdie 18 in order to get into a playoff? He almost fucking did.
Yeah. Yeah, but then you have the Scheffler hole out. What was it, on 4?
Yeah.
That was reported to us up in the booth at Putting World. Just made it 2 on 4. He's heating up, and I got very excited. Now, mind you, we're doing the whole broadcast, and we're very locked into that. But the golf that was being played with the players, I mean, won't lie to you. Both of us were kind of looking around our little TV there at the big screen going, oh, the shit, look at this. It's coming.
We definitely were. Even though there was high drama at the Putting World Championships, it also was high drama at the Players, and that's what we were catching. And how about Wyndham Clark actually birdieing 17 and then getting that chance on 18 to push it into a playoff, and just one of the hardest rim jobs I've ever seen. Rough.
The golf gods will do that to you when you take a drop like that. So, saying that's the kind of stuff that happens when you skirt the fan, Peter. If that makes sense.
It sure does. But going back to Scottie Scheffler real quick, okay? Because it kind of jumped over him. I do have a question for you. Do you think Scottie Scheffler is about to go on a tear?
Been on a tear. You're saying, will he sustain it and
will he win? Will he continue to win?
Yeah. Based on listening to him talk and everything that he talks about, he stays off social media. He keeps to himself. He works his ass off. Sounds kind of like the recipe that another guy that we know, and I'm not trying to make comparisons here, but and not that there was social media in the Tiger era, there wasn't, but that same mentality of just staying in your own bubble and doing what fucking works. I think he has figured out a recipe, and I think he's stuck it.
Well, his biggest downfall is his putter, right? And I did say, as I was talking about him being somewhat of a choke artist when it comes down the stretch and so forth, I really felt like he needed a mental performance coach to be able to help him get that confidence back in the flat stick. TaylorMade apparently did that for him with this spider that they have dialed in for him, and he was working with Rory McIlroy on that as well. Just trying to figure out, okay, is this the right setup for me, this and that, and sure enough, he's in the honeymoon phase, and he is dropping putts.
Yes, so
now,
far, very promising.
my only worry is that the core issue hasn't been fixed. It's just confidence in a new putter. And what happens when he starts missing a few and then all of a sudden he starts getting back into that rut again? Is he going to be able to work his way out of it yet again? And especially under pressure.
Any one of you assholes out there that play golf, ladies included, you're also assholes. So equal, but we all know exactly what Matt's talking about right now. Honeymoon phase with a putter is a very, very real thing. Scottie's in it, and how many more events do you need to see him play putting like he has been, where it's official? What do you think? 3 more?
I think I got to see him at the Masters. I want to see him at the Masters with it. I want to see him on super slick greens that bend a lot. I think that's going to be the trick.
It's aggressive, rolls it by 6 feet, which everybody does at the Masters all day long. So, yeah, that's a very good point. So you think the Masters is like the final boss, so to speak?
I think it is. I really do. I think it is. I think that's going to be the one that we sit back and go, oh, snap. Like, is he there? Like, does he have that putting stroke under a lot of pressure? Does he still feel just as confident with that putter as he did at the Players or at the Arnold Palmer Invitational? That's something that we're going to have to wait and see. But the other question that I have is Scottie Scheffler the best player since Tiger Woods?
This is such a bold statement to make. I mean, where do you cut off Tiger's journey, and where do you start?
2019.
So since then, a couple of years here. Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about 19 and forward, I think the record speaks for itself. We all are starting to have that vibe that if Scheffler's in the field, he might win this thing.
Yeah.
That with Tiger, and I'm not saying he's anywhere near Tiger Woods, but you're stupid not to think that Scheffler might not win this thing. I mean, we're starting to get that kind of that. At least me personally, I got that vibe. He might win it.
I'm in full agreement with you. I think he is the most dominant player that we have seen since Tiger Woods. You know, we had John Rahm's run, and then we also have seen a bit from Tony Finau at times. Like, there's been some guys that, Cam Smith had a nice little run. Cam Smith has been, I don't know, I never thought of Cam Smith as being super dominant. He was just such a great putter that if his golf swing was good at a given tournament, he gave himself a chance to win.
I don't know that he had a chance to be considered dominant in today's landscape because of the fact that he went to Live, right? So
right after winning the Open Championship, too.
Might have just exploded on the PGA Tour and found his own. That's what Scheffler did. I mean, a couple of years, and then he becomes this guy. I mean, he was out there, and now he's the guy. So it could have happened to a couple of these guys that were super elite. My money's on Scheffler.
Here we go. So as we move into more about Scottie Scheffler, a lot of people on social media, especially the Live Golf fans, are just shitting all over good old Scottie Scheffler, that he's just so boring. And the one thing that I got to say about that, and I wonder what your opinion is here, is that Scottie Scheffler, he might not show his personality through media, through talking, but if you look at his golf swing, there's a huge personality there. That's not boring. And I think that comes through, like, his personality is his golf swing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he gives a fuck about entertaining you off the golf course. I think he's under the impression that his performance will speak for itself. And like I said, in his own bubble, he doesn't give a shit about social media. He doesn't even watch this whole thing on him. He doesn't watch news excerpts. He doesn't watch people talk about him, good or bad. He doesn't want his head to get too big or get down on himself and allow anything from the outside to come in and affect the recipe for success that he has boiled up. So he's going to keep doing that. And if that's boring and you don't like watching people play good golf because they're not out saying I'm the shit, well, that's on you.
Wow. Couldn't have said it better myself.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Let's get into a little bit of the leaderboard rundown here. So I keep thinking that mouse is going to control my iPad. It is not. Keeps messing with me. So leaderboard rundown. We've got our perennial second place holder with Xander Schauffele. Is he ever going to break through, man? Like, what is his deal right now? He has not won in so long.
I liken him to a Fowler. I feel like both those guys are like the same person. They break through occasionally. They have great events, similar golf swings, similar builds. I don't know. I don't know. You got to get hot, and I think it just depends. Golf's a fucking weird game. We'll see.
Golf is weird, man.
Like how do you project that?
It's so tough to like stay that consistent for so long. And Xander Schauffele really has been Mr. Consistency. He just hasn't been in the winner's box, really. Like, he hasn't won a ton. He's been second place. He's been top 10 in so many events that it just kind of boggles my mind how he hasn't just, accidentally stumbled into the winner circle. But that also goes to show you how tough it is to win on the PGA Tour.
I think he's about to pack it up and go over to Live. I really do. But that's a little provocative. I think that's next for him, though.
So you got Brian Harman, T2 as well. You've got Matt Fitzpatrick that finished fifth. Good old Siwoo Kim, Players Champ, bro. He was T6 with Hideki Matsuyama. Eighth place was good old Ludwig Oberg. You've got T9 with Sahith Thagala and Maverick McNeely. And then a little notable here from Full Swing, good old Joel Damon finished T11. Good to see him up towards the top of the leaderboard, so to speak, with the T11. And then there's Rory McIlroy. Shows signs of brilliance and then just shits himself on others. And he's got a couple interesting drops that we'll get to in a second. But T19, what do you think the deal is with Rory McIlroy?
I can't figure it out, man. Still arguably the best golf swing on the PGA Tour. Might just go to show you, beauty doesn't mean that the ball goes in the hole. Hits it farther than most. Drives it better, arguably, than anybody on the PGA Tour. Can't quite figure it out. It's not. We talked about this before. It's like an all-encompassing thing. It's not quite the putter. It's not quite the short game. It's not quite it's just not quite all there at the same time, and it hasn't been in a while. So I don't know.
I agree with you. It's an enigma, man, because Rory still has a shit ton of game. The flat stick isn't terrible. It's just that he's making these stupid mistakes that are just like blowing up in the middle of a round. And he did have a couple questionable drops out there where Victor Hovland was calling him out. But before we get to those drops, also, Victor Hovland is an enigma right now. He was the best player at the end of last year, by far, heading from the FedEx Cup right into the Ryder Cup. And all of a sudden, you started to see some uncharacteristic things from Victor, with comments about PGA Tour brass, being unhappy with leadership, and all of a sudden comes into this season and has not played well as of yet. Apparently has switched short game coaches again, or swing coaches. I'll get that correct on next week's episode. I don't want to go too far there because I actually heard that today as I was putting together all these show notes, that he once again has switched coaches. And I'm like, is Mayo out? Because Mayo fixed his short game. Now his short game isn't great right now. And it's like, what is going on here with Victor Hovland? He is searching.
Search. Hey, I got to get back to where I was. Don't know what that was. Let's car shop a little bit and try some different guys out and see if that's the difference. I mean, I'm not him, so I can't say that, but I think a lot of it matters just golf. Like, these things happen. You fall into a trough and
trough, good word. Yeah.
You don't quite find a way back to where you perceive that you were.
It's tough to get locked in. It's tough to get locked in mentally, like he did for the FedEx Cup and also for the Ryder Cup. Yeah. That takes a toll on you, but you have to stay locked in to that mental focus. Yeah. And I just don't think that he has been mentally focused this first part of the year. Maybe he will heading into the Masters. I still have him as my pick to win the Masters, but I also love Will Zalatoris and Hideki Matsuyama. So, yeah. No, that is going to be a staple. And so, granted, we don't know what the hell is wrong with Victor. I just think he lost a bit of focus, and I think that's been his biggest issue to date so far this season. But what about Rory McIlroy? I was messaging you this. I was like, hey, we're going to be talking about this on the show. So go take a look at Rory's questionable drops. And then we also have a Wyndham Clark that has been going nuts all over social media with one of his drops that he took, which now this is kind of getting into a little bit from going back to his win at Pebble, where there was a questionable drop. And we'll get into that as well. But what did you think of Rory's? Victor Hovland came running out on the one and was like, hang on. And then Jordan Spieth came over and was kind of like peacemaker there. But what do you think?
This episode of Pole Hook Golf is brought to you by Bushwood Spirits, a lifestyle company with roots deep in golf's most beloved traditions. Bushwood brings more than just premium whiskey to your table. It brings a sense of nostalgia and camaraderie that every golfer cherishes. Whether you're reliving your best shots or simply enjoying the 19th hole with friends, Bushwood is there to make those moments even more memorable. And here's something to toast to. As a listener of Pole Hook Golf, you get an exclusive 20% off at bushwood.com. Just use promo code PoleHookGolf20 at checkout. Embrace the spirit of golf, share a laugh, and be the ball with Bushwood Spirits. Your next great golf story starts with a sip. Now let's get back to the show.
I must have watched the Rory video. The Wyndham thing I just saw today, I wasn't aware of that, so that was new news to me. But the Rory drop, I watched the shittiest camera angle, and it's all we had to go off of, right? It was across the fairway. You could see a bounce. You got, 2 feet from the water to the red line. Honestly, I don't know if anybody from 290 yards, without being right there, could call that appropriately. And I think Rory knew that, and I think he said, look, I'm going to try to get as much out of this as I can, because I'm a professional golfer, and we're playing in the fucking Players' Championship. I'm definitely not going to say, maybe it went the other way. You're always going to err on the side of progression for yourself. So, I don't know, man. I watched it a billion times. I can't tell. The playing partners couldn't tell. They're just taking his word, and that's what they did.
So for me, I really feel like this has to become something that gets fixed with technology at some point. Like, you've got to be able to tell exactly where it went into a hazard. Like, that to me right now, like, you have footage, but it's like they don't really communicate it down. I don't know.
Digital umpiring at this point, like, you go to Top Golf and there's a chip in the golf ball, and that chip is telling that setup wherever that golf ball's going, like within a couple inches. So maybe that's the answer. I don't know. Maybe you put a little tracker in there, and I don't know if the precision or the technology is there, but when you're talking about millions of dollars, in a difference of being inside the line or 8 inches above it or 5 inches above it or 2 inches above it, it's like tennis. Think about in tennis when the ball lands on the line and they have to go back and look at it again.
Yeah.
And you watch it with your eyes and you're like, that's in. And oftentimes they replay it and it is not in. We're talking about 80 yards across the fairway from 300 yards with a tee shot with a golf ball this big and a red line that's painted on grass. How do you call that, which could potentially result in the win of a tournament? Like, that's crazy.
I mean, you could go back to the TrackMan data, right? Because you've got that, and I feel like you have the course in software that you've already mapped out, and you're showing the shot tracer anyways. So why not just have that be, okay, your ball entered here, have an official run out there, show them where it entered into the hazard, and then there's no speculation whatsoever. Because as a pro, you have the most competitive people in the world out there grinding it out on the PGA Tour. There's a reason why these guys didn't take just boatloads of money, hundreds of millions of guaranteed dollars, and go over to LIV. They stayed on the PGA Tour because they are some of the most competitive people you will ever meet in your life. And, of course, they're going to take any type of small advantage possible in order to bend the rules in their favor. And that's where I think Rory was giving himself his own benefit of the doubt and saying, yeah, I'm way the fuck up here.
He this is just my opinion, but here's what I saw. I saw where the ball, and on camera, if you go back and watch it, you guys can go on YouTube, you can pull up that clip. You can see the ball, if you look over the hill, that ball lands even or almost past the bunker, and you can see it bounce up. Where he actually takes the drop, it's almost like maybe he knew it was low, but to behoove his playing partners, he didn't go all the way up to where it really bounced, even though it was low. He went back and said, "This looks fair." They didn't see it. I'm not going to go back to the tee, but I'm also not going to drop that far up. Does this look okay to you guys? That's what I got out of it. I don't know about you, but it looked like he knew maybe, and I don't want to say that about Rory, so I don't want to lessen his integrity. I think he's one of the most integrity-stricken guys on the PGA Tour. But it looked like he kind of went, I don't know, it was close. I'll go back here a little bit, and maybe they'll be okay with this. What do you guys think? Can you come over here and take a look? I guess, yeah. Go ahead there.
So we were discussing the Rory drop, and what I said was he didn't even fucking know if it was up. So rather than hit another one from the box, because the tee shot covered a lot of water, right?
He
Is
hit
that
that
the deal?
hook. He hit that big hook.
Yeah.
So, of course, he thinks it went out and then across.
Correct.
Instead of just across.
So what I was saying is you could see it bounce way farther up than where he took a drop. And I think he did that in an effort to pacify his playing partners and just not maybe cheat, but still be in the event and have a shot at the green and not completely shoot his dick off. So I've done that too. I mean, look, you play golf tournaments. I play golf tournaments. Crossing a water hazard in the air with 4 guys watching it, it's tough. It's really tough to figure out. We're all sitting there going, well, it crossed here. Well, where did it cross? Well,
No
at least,
idea.
and on the PGA Tour, at least you can say, go to the camera. And unfortunately, with all the technology that we have in the entire world, we had one fucking camera 80 yards across the fairway that barely sees this thing bounce and go in the water. So I don't know. I don't think he was trying to be nefarious by any means. I think he was trying to do the right thing because I don't think he really knew. And we had an agreement, and luckily in the rules of golf, if you're playing partners, it's not about rules officials. If they agree and it's a gentleman's game, that's how we do it. So,
Wow. Love that out of you.
sorry, that was a big rant. I apologize. Had a couple of brewskis.
Oh, no, it's fine. The one thing I was going to say is that along the lines of technology, right? We do have all this technology now. The TrackMan data is so good, especially when you're outside and you're able to track it the entire way, that they have all these golf courses mapped, by the way, in the software.
Yeah.
That's what you see in the StatCast and everything. StatCast. I'm going to baseball right now. Fuck. So you've got
Mike flustered him, folks.
our next event that we're going to do commentary for is probably going to be a Little League game. Could you imagine?
I can.
So, anyways, with all of this technology, I really feel like we've got to get to the point to where you have an exact spot of where that ball crossed into a hazard.
Yeah.
There's no more excuses, PGA Tour. You got SSG, which hopefully that strategic sports group is going to help them move into the next phase in terms of quality production and media. Beyond Rory's questionable drop, we're on to Wyndham's.
Oh, boy.
Okay? So I'm going to tread lightly because I like Wyndham. I think his story's great. Obviously, I have the same trainer as Wyndham. We share a lot of stories going back and forth. So with that said, he's made 2 questionable drops, one at Pebble that Twitter was all over, and then also here at the Players' Championship to where he's stepping around where he's going to drop. I don't know if it's on purpose. When you're in that type of moment, I don't know if you're actively thinking, oh, let me stomp down this grass so I can drop it on a good lie.
So I'm going to need a little backstory here. Key me into the Pebble drop. What happened? Was it the exact same thing?
No, it wasn't the exact same. He was kind of walking up to his ball into the area, had to have a drop, and he's stepping around, and then he ends up dropping. I believe what Twitter was trying to say was he dropped in the same spot that he was stepping on. But I don't think that one was. This one was a little bit more, I would say, closer to breaking some type of rule.
I mean, fuck, it's pretty genius if you ask me. Like, it's smart.
I applaud him.
That is like the smartest way to mess with the rules.
And you can tell no player called him out. No player has called him out on this.
Technically, and technically, there is no rule against it. Nobody says, well, the rules official's on his way out, you can't dance around in where you know you might have to potentially drop.
Breaking the rules without breaking the rules.
That's
you're bending the rules.
God, at that level, I don't know, man.
I don't think he's purposely doing it.
I don't know. You do it once, you do it twice.
I could be biased on that one, by the way.
If this happens again,
and I'll call myself out on that.
yeah, I mean, we got the modern day Patrick Reed situation.
Whoa.
Yeah, I can't
Hang
quite
on.
make the comparison
We're-
there.
We're not scraping sand
No,
away
I'm
here.
not saying. Oh, yeah.
There's nobody as good as him.
Yeah. No. Let's never forget that. So, I don't know. It's tough to say. It could be totally harmless. I mean, where do you want him to walk? Where do you want him to stand? Here's
great
another
question.
question, right? Should you be cognizant classic?
Love the word
Should you
cognizant.
be cognizant of where you're standing because you should, under the heat of battle, rules officials
under
coming
the
out,
heat of battle.
should you know that where you're stepping could potentially be a drop area?
Ever since your mic started working, you really started just
But is
bringing
that-
the heat.
Is that a thing? Like, are you even worried about that? Is that something that's in your head? If you're that smart, then fuck it, do it.
It
Like,
wouldn't be in my head in that situation.
Never. I'm playing the Players Championship. The last thing I'm thinking about is, well, this guy's going to come out here. I might have to take a drop. I'm going to go ahead and walk around right here because this looks like where I'm going to have to take it. I don't know.
I'm not.
Sounds a little
I'm not
crazy.
buying that one.
Yeah.
Now,
Can we agree on that?
yeah.
I think maybe. It's an honest
Just
mistake.
chalk it up to being a very competitive human being.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it.
I think he means well. He hasn't shown anything suspect other than that.
No. But I do think a lot of those Live Golf fans are very butthurt that he didn't go to Live. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're all over
Wyndham.
him. Yeah.
Was he offered a
Oh,
spot? Yeah. So,
All right. Moving into the Valspar.
yes.
Here we go. Previous winner last year. First time winner Taylor Moore at 10 under par. So, folks, this course, just to give you a little bit of breakdown to Innisbrook, it is the Innisbrook Resort. They are going to be playing the Copperhead Resort in and of itself, but it's a par 71. It stretches out to 7,300 yards. The designer is one that, have you ever heard of Larry Packard?
No.
Me neither. So Larry Packard is the course designer, and I didn't know this. In my research, I found that this golf course is ranked the PGA Tour 7th toughest golf course that they play all year long. Hence, 10 under par. And remember, this was actually the one
I'll do one more
that
from you, man.
Jordan
Thank you, Matt.
Spieth blew it
Yeah.
last year. He missed a short putt. Everybody, well, not everybody, but there were some comments, and I asked Bobby on the broadcast, one of my buddies, Tony, he's like, hey, can you ask Bobby on the podcast if Jordan purposely meant to miss that to give this Taylor Moore guy a victory? And Bobby destroyed him on the podcast going, you got to be a complete moron in
No
order
way.
to think that. Jordan Spieth is trying to make that putt. He's not trying to give up anything to this guy.
No.
So you've got that. And then also, folks, this is golf course is known to be a tree-lined, pine tree-lined fairways, rolling terrain, and, of course, the challenging snake pit
This
section.
snake pit.
A lot of snake pit section. I'm okay.
We got some enunciation issues tonight, but it's okay. We're working around it.
I got a lot of. So that's a breakdown of the golf course. Let's go over field analysis and a few notables. Okay, we've got 16 players in the top 50 in the. Some people are going to scoff at this, the official World Golf Rankings.
But what are those?
Well, they don't include any live players. Well, actually, John Rahm's still in there. There's a couple that are still within that top 50. But you got Xander Schauffele, Brian Harmon, Keegan Bradley, Jordan Spieth, Sam Burns, Cam Young, Justin Thomas, Tony Finau, Minwoo Lee, and Sung Jae Im.
That's a strong field.
So you got a pretty strong field
that's a
there.
strong field.
And that being said, want to get into some picks? I'm starting. So you got the first. I gave you a couple easy entries into the first couple times.
Yeah.
I allowed you to have Scottie Scheffler. Allowed you to get those first picks. I'm taking the first pick this time.
Okay.
I'm going Jordan Spieth. Yep. That's why I was going first.
That was my pick. Next to that,
are you gonna let him cook?
Is he in? Minwoo.
He's there.
Yeah.
You gonna let him cook?
He may cook. You took my fucking pick, and I hate that because we've been waiting for a Jordan Spieth breakthrough for a while. He's been playing good.
Can't wait.
Great golf course for him. Damn you. Yeah. So second to that.
Listen, Buttsy, you're learning. I'm a savage.
No, I understand. I understand.
I will cut you off at the heels.
You also got first to pick, so it's tough. It's tough.
Jesus, wait until I fucking get done with the train. Give a quick Barkley impersonation, please.
He goes, Jordan's. I was like, oh, shit. All right, not taking him anymore, I guess. No, below that.
Where's the Barkley when you get to drop Jordan? Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan got 30 Jordan got 30 under par this tournament. Best tournament of the year.
It doesn't get old.
Find it. Got a new putter. It's got a camera. Rolling the rock. Find it again. Circa 2022. He back.
Hey, back.
Anyways.
So, Jordan Spieth. He's my pick this week, folks. And you've got Minwoo.
Our guy Minwoo is going to cook.
Minwoo definitely has a shot this week. I think this is a really good tournament for Minwoo because the scores aren't going to be crazy deep. This is a very tough golf tournament.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's it. That's we'll see.
So now we're on
Now I got to place a bet on him.
Yeah. Now we're on to the Swanie style segment.
Now a quick word from our sponsor. Swanie's is here with a fresh take. Performance-based materials are a given these days. But if you're looking for the stretchiest and most lightweight pieces that deliver a look that says, I'm here for a good time, take a walk on the Swanie side. With fabric sourced from recycled plastics and designs sourced from our very own weekend warriors, Swanie's is looking out for both our planet and those that need a little style to boost their drive another 15 yards. Premium looks from top to bottom at swaneys.co.
All right. So what did you think Sunday of the green pants taking over on St. Patrick's Day? We had at Putting World, we had the Jerry Kelly lookalike, Rainey Statham. I'm never going to forget that guy's name.
Rainey Statham was dialed. He had the 89, circa 89 windbreaker on indoors, fully tucked shirt, pants, golf shoes. He was just flat out fucking doing it. So
what's her face? The one that Paul kept following around.
Sam
Shoshana?
I think that's her
Is
last
that right?
name. Yeah.
So little shout out to Sam Shoshana. She reposted one of our clips from our live commentary.
She did.
Of her dropping a 1. But Pissed Off Paul, who is our on-course navigator / analyst, was following her around quite a bit. And I couldn't help but find on her profile on Instagram that our Jerry Kelly lookalike, Rainey Statham, had her sign his chest.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
And it was on her social media page.
There you go. It's
incredible stuff.
Little fucking weird.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, putting professionals, it is the edge of golf. I mean, it is the Ocho right now.
And you can't blame Pissed Off Paul. I mean, this guy has gone without female attention for a very long time. So the only girl in the building, I get it.
Her biggest mistake was she said hello.
Oh, she did. And he locked right in.
Did not leave her son
no,
for a
I
while.
Said, Paul,
we
can
had
we
to
get
go,
some,
Paul.
Get out of there.
Yeah, can we get some
we
Kevin
get the rest of
Sundstrom, please, from the Swedish putting
tournament,
team?
Paul? Oh, my God.
Oh, it's great. So what did you think about Jerry Kelly lookalike? And, I mean, he had very, very green pants on. And then Scottie Scheffler's green pants. Are you a fan?
Is that what? Are you gonna like wear that Masters week? Is that what you're getting at? Does Swanee's make a pair? Like,
I gotta
what are we
check.
doing?
I actually don't know. I'm gonna have to find out.
Well, in regards to your outfit, this is the Swanie segment, right? You look like the Easter Bunny, and in the best way. You were very colorful. Everything matched, and we kept.
You're talking about at Trevor's?
Yeah, no, I'm talking about at Putting World.
No, I had the gray on at Putting World.
Oh, that's right. We both went. Oh shit! It's St. Patty's Day.
Yep.
Yeah, we both fucked that up. So I apologize, folks. I've had a couple Coors Lattes tonight.
That's the second part of this. Is do you think we failed St. Patrick's Day with our attire on Sunday?
Yes, but I've kind of resided to
I
the
didn't know
fact
it was
that
St. Patrick's Day.
this is kind of my uniform for the pod. I've kind of figured that out. It's a black shirt. It's this hat. It's an absolutely obscene, giant diamond watch. Hang on, let's see if we get a click in here.
It is giant.
You guys hear that? That's
Little
wealth right there.
ASMR there?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Pure wealth. I live in a condo, but who cares? Anyways, I'm hood rich. So, yeah, in terms of what we wore to Putting World, I don't give a fuck if it's St. Patty's Day. This is the outfit. You, on the other hand, being a sponsored athlete, I think you kind of blew your nut there. You should have had something green on.
I mean, I'm wearing green right now. I should have had green on.
A little late.
A
little late.
You know what's crazy, too, is I purposely ordered 2 items from Swanie's that were green. That when my order was in, they're like, hey, what do you want for this month? I was like, I'll take these green ones. This has green in it for the desert. And my other one is like from their core collection is a green polo, and I didn't wear either of them because I didn't know it was fucking St. Patty's Day.
What do you got in the cup there, Maddie?
Little Bushwood.
I was going to say,
Little
because
long
I have
ball.
just been hammering Coors Lattes, and I kind of feel like you're right on board, and I'm like, he's not drinking anything, but
Oh, I'm there.
yeah, he's the secret guy.
Yeah, I'm the one that you will never know that I am fucked up until you know that I'm fucked up.
Oh, you'll know.
Yep.
You'll know.
It happens. Happens to the best of us.
Very good.
So we failed on all accounts except for the fact that green pants, everybody. I think we got to buy a pair of green pants for the Masters. I think that's what it comes down to.
I have a pair, and I
Swanee's
will
we
wear
need.
them.
All right, here we go. Let's move on from the Swanie style segment. We are now to PGA Tour PIF. PGA Tour PIF. The status of all statuses. This is what everybody came for, folks. PGA Tour PIF. I have talked about every step of the way where they are at in these negotiations. And here's the thing. Yasir finally meets with the most bitter PGA Tour pro of them all, Tiger Woods.
Jet lands in the Bahamas. We are at the World Summit of Golf, basically, at this
They were
point.
at Albany.
Yeah.
Good old Albany, where
did they
Tiger
play?
belongs. They played together yesterday, and guess what? Second straight day today, they played. I found out from a source. They called me up, and were like, they're out there again today. And I'm like, holy shit. By the way, Justin Rose also has a place out there in Albany. There's a bunch of guys that are out there in Albany. But for Yasir to be meeting with Tiger Woods, who everybody knows that Tiger Woods has absolutely cut off anybody that's gone to live.
Yes.
Does not talk
No
to
text back.
anybody.
You're dead.
So Tiger was the one they really needed to win over. And here's the thing. I've been convinced of this for a long time now, that Yasir has a level of intelligence that earns respect with everybody that encounters him.
Yes.
To where they're like, oh, wow, you're not some idiot.
This is not
that
what I
is
thought.
Just coming from oil money that is part of the palace, yada, yada, yada. This guy actually knows his shit and is intelligent, but then it comes into play where it's like, okay, you're dealing with Greg Norman. Why are you dealing with Greg Norman? And that becomes
Therein lies the
part
problem.
of the conversation
Therein
and
lies the
how
problem.
this is all going to go down. But with him meeting Tiger, yes, folks, I posted it on Monday, and I said, it's about to go down.
I think there was probably a general respect that was had. And my God, we are never going to be privy to the actual conversation that goes down.
Nor should we, because
No, it's not
there
for us.
may be. Never mind. I can't even get into
No,
that
don't
right
do it.
now.
But what will come out of it, I think, is going to be a very different route than what everybody thought if you thought the GOAT's going in to meet with these guys and he hates them.
So the one thing that is going to be different is the fact that Live Golf will become under the PGA Tour banner.
Yep.
And that is now no longer going to be Live Golf. Okay? There
It's
is
not.
going to be Team Golf. And that is going to be merged into PGA Tour
The
and
product.
those
Yep.
assets. So there is going to be a rebrand. I believe, according to my sources, that for a lot of PGA Tour people, including Rory McIlroy, Greg Normalade, Greg Norman is going to be a part of this. He met with Steve Cohen, so granted, Yasir's meeting
he
with
is
Tiger,
a part of it.
and Greg Norman is meeting with the Mets owner, Steve Cohen, who is part of the SSG group.
That's putting money into the tour.
They put in $3 billion.
Yeah.
That's a collective. The Fenway Group that owns, obviously, the Red Sox, the Boston Bruins, Pittsburgh Penguins, and a couple other sports franchises. They're in there as a majority holder. Steve Cohen is almost a trillionaire, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's got a shit ton of money. So he meets with Greg Norman. I have no idea how those conversations went. So don't ask me. Greg Norman is going to be a part of this one way or another. And I think that burns a lot of people because even Rory McIlroy said recently that Greg Norman and Liv have done PIF a disservice. So what do you think that means?
Just irresponsibly represented them. You got 30 years of hatred for how the PGA Tour is set up, and you're backed by the PIF, and I don't know.
I love that you just said backed by the PIF.
Well, he is, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he technically is. So what he's bringing to the table, I don't know. They might need to just shut him up and say, hey, look, you're our figurehead. You chill over here, but
They did put a muzzle on him.
Yeah,
And
like-
they did that last year, too, for a
don't
while.
fuck this up for us.
Yeah.
We have a chance to actually do something here, and we don't need all of the angst that you've developed with these players over the years and everything that you've done that's caused hatred towards you personally to fuck this up for us.
Well, and here's the thing.
We're going to need a pee break, too.
There's a personal vendetta that Greg Norman has against the PGA Tour. It stems back to
90s.
his issues with Arnold Palmer, of all people, and
The king.
not showing up to one of Arnold's outings, and Arnold was really pissed off. And then, of course, you piss off Arnold, you've pissed off the PGA Tour. The PGA Tour shunned Greg Norman for a long time. Then, in the 90s, Greg Norman tried to get a tour created that would take over the PGA Tour, and then obviously that blossomed into now Live Golf. And so there's bad blood between
We're going to take
everybody.
a break here, Maddie.
Oh, boy.
Sorry, I've had a gallon of Coors Light. We're going to have to learn better next time, but Maddie,
We
cover
gotta
this?
get you the catheter.
I know, dude.
The catheter is a key.
Or we just don't drink beer.
You shouldn't drink beer.
We don't have a gallon of beer.
Why do you not just drink whiskey?
I'll be right back.
All right, you come on back now. So I'm going to continue with some of this for the live stream. This will end up getting cut for the podcast episode. But I think for the live streamers that are out there that are watching this live, you guys need to know that, number one, Yasir and Tiger got along candidly, apparently. From everybody that has been sending me texts and so forth, they found an underlying commonality. Might be women, I don't know. But that being said, there is a commonality that is going on right now between the PGA Tour and PIF, and that deal's getting done. This is due diligence, which if anybody's been in mergers and acquisitions, which I believe, hey, anti-live, chime in here, bud, because you claim to be a merger and acquisition expert, and I'm telling you right now, they are in that stage to where shit gets finalized. We were expecting this for a long time, since Waste Management Phoenix Open. That's where they were so close to getting this whole thing done, and apparently the guys that Yasir's meeting with, Tiger, Spieth, and some of the other guys, is the fact that that pathway back, what Live is going to be moving forward, all of that is going to be what this ultimately turns into. So, again, under the PGA Tour branding and everything is what Team Golf is supposed to move into. Live Golf right now, from what I'm being told, is on the verge of being blended in.
The name goes away?
It's going to be a full rebrand.
So how do you negate these contracts that have been made for 4 years?
So you have to, because they don't meet U.S. contract laws.
Oh. Do a lot of people understand that? I
No.
don't think so.
I don't think so either.
They just think, hey, the guy signed a deal for this much, and that's what he gets over 4 years. How are
Right.
you just going to say, nah?
All of the control that they have over them is part of the issue with U.S. employment laws.
How much of a call does Tiger make in this deal?
He's big because he got
Why?
added to the board, and now everything lies within the players. So they have the majority of the board seats.
It's very interesting. You're talking
And
about
by
a
the
lot
way,
of money.
Tiger is the one with the biggest grudge against Live Golf, as we know
But here-
through his interactions with players that have gone over there.
Do you think, I mean, obviously he's in the know. He knows probably every detail there is to know. But do you think he really knows? Do you think going into
Here
this...
we go. Little anti-Live here. Termination
What'd he say?
Termination clauses are pretty typical, he said.
So
there
what
you
does
go.
what does that mean?
So termination clauses are usually clauses within a contract that, okay, if this entity goes away, your contract disappears.
Null and void.
Yeah.
It's over.
So John Rahm's $600 million.
How many of
It's
these guys
only
were
how much he got paid.
How many of these guys were paid up front though?
Well,
And is that just like a wash if they were? If we gave a guy,
all the original guys are in their third year, which they were all 3-year contracts.
okay,
So there were some
Yeah, they are in their third
there
year
were
now,
some
huh?
1-year contracts in the beginning, but third season, they're all in their final contracts, which will wrap up at the end of this season. Now, granted, you've got John Rahm with a contract that apparently was between 3 to 5 years.
And-
that
and
was the
you-
one that kind of broke the mold.
and I would think he was also in the know.
Which I don't have an
before
exact,
doing
by the way,
that?
on that. Just so that everybody knows, I do not have an exact on John
but
Rahm's contract length.
I just think there's so much that we don't know. A guy like John Rahm is not skipping off the PGA Tour to go take this money. If there's any chance in hell that this money is either retracted or not
Well,
fully
he-
paid out.
He thought he was going to come back onto the PGA Tour at some point.
Which
so
he
why
may.
not go get that money? I don't know if him and his agent realized that, hey, if there's a termination clause to where, like, hey, Live Golf
Realized?
is no longer.
Bro, that's too much money not to realize. They knew exactly what they were getting into, and
I've
I
got
find
a
that hard to
feeling, too.
believe.
I know. I'm
Like,
with
There's,
you
I
wholeheartedly.
think, I just think that there's a gray area here. We're all sitting here on message forums and fucking speculating on what we think we know based on what's given to us.
Well, you also
you don't know.
You also got to realize, too, that Jay Monahan sent out a letter. So a lot of people have seen this letter that he sent out to the players that basically says nothing. That just says, hey,
What's it say?
we're doing our due diligence. PIF and some of our players are meeting together, and it's all part of due diligence, which is
Okay.
great, right? So due diligence.
One more and that's it.
I've
Thanks,
been
bro.
I've been part of a company that we went through due diligence with a venture.
Thumbs up there. What is that?
That's your thumbs up.
How'd they do that?
That's how you do it right there.
Oh, didn't even do that. Anyways, back. Sorry.
So due diligence is something that normally comes
Go ahead.
when everything is finalized and you're just going to go through the final motions to see if there's anything there, like any skeletons in the closet,
Yeah.
to see if, okay, we're not going to move forward because, hey, we just found out you murdered somebody, which we know that happened.
I'm just saying, a guy like Rahm is not making that decision without knowing. There's a lot of information that's being hidden from the public, I think, about how this whole deal works, and I
God,
don't
you
know.
get rosy, don't you?
What's that?
You get rosy.
Well, you
look
know,
at those
I've
cheeks.
had,
Holy shit.
I've had quite a few Coors Lattes here. Might have a little HBP creeping in here this evening. Oh, God.
Oh, God. Sorry
You know what
for
it's
calling
from?
out,
It's
but
from
I
trying
love
to
that.
hold your piss
Is it?
and pretend that it's
Did a
okay.
doctor tell you that?
No, I
Yeah,
know
I didn't-
that.
I didn't think
no,
so.
it's
No,
anecdotal.
that's false.
Strictly anecdotal.
Oh, God.
Thanks,
so,
Matt.
folks, I'm so sorry.
That's
I'm so
okay.
sorry. I
Should have been a mall Santa. Look at these things. Go ahead.
I was looking at our little image, and all I can see are your rosy cheeks.
Oh yeah, they're very
It
red.
looks like we're in 30-degry weather.
It looks like we're fucking jolly, if you ask me. That's where we're at right now on a Tuesday.
Love that.
Fucking jolly, bud.
By
Having
the
a great
way,
time here.
your reaction and my reaction during the commentary of Putting World,
Yeah.
I've watched that. Folks, I hate going back. I hate editing stuff. I hate listening to my own voice. I fucking can't stand it. So I'm sitting there going back through some of our commentary, and I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. Like, watching you and I just going nuts for Jeff G was priceless to me.
Just some fucking
Because
asshole putting for 25K.
we were that was pure like excitement for Jeff G.
Oh, I wanted him to succeed. I mean, you talk about Hooters tour.
Oh shit, we got more comments.
What are we saying here?
Fuck me. Hang on, we're getting to them. Here we go.
Anybody hating on the cheeks yet?
Oh, Ziggy Clarence goes, huge fan.
What'd he say? We need to get this on the. You can't get that on the iPad?
I tried earlier. Too many steps.
I can't see that far. Glaucoma.
Huge fan. Big of Buttsy. So there's
Thank you,
Ziggy
sir.
Clarence.
Appreciate you, Ziggy.
Ziggy, I hope I said that correctly.
Love anybody named Ziggy. What a fucking name.
So Anti-Live goes, Rahm's son before the SSG PGA deal, he won't have any details of that deal. Okay.
So you're firing blind is what you're telling me. This guy took a risk? Are we saying this guy really took that big of a risk?
You know what, though?
I'm sure a lot of money was transferred to the bank account after the...
Oh,
Yeah. Might have got all of it and just said, hey, if something happens,
that's
okay.
one thing I wish we would know with Live Golf is, like, the transparency of contracts.
Well, so Pat told me,
Yeah, bring this in.
when he got his deal, and it wasn't anywhere near what some of these guys got, but
Got the 10 mil.
it's
Right?
I didn't do it until I saw it hit the bank account, and it's my fucking money. So anything that happens after that,
Yeah.
great.
Now, did he get the full 10?
Yeah,
Okay.
up front.
Because I remember when it went down, it was actually Mikey's dad that reached out to us
What'd he say?
and gave us the intel before anybody knew that Pat just got 10 mil. He wanted to give the show a little bit of props.
Or as Pat would say, I just won the fucking lottery.
10 mil, man. That's
It's a lot of money.
Nothing to joke about.
And that's like a flash in the pan in terms of live golfers.
All right. So
Where are we at?
that's PGA Tour and PIF, all right? If you guys need more, add it into the comments.
So what do you think? Are we
I'm
gonna
happy to answer
When are we
as
gonna-
much as I possibly can. I mean, I don't want to dive too deep into business because I've been a part of these and on multiple occasions. So I don't want to get too in depth to where it gets confusing, but I'm happy to answer anything that anybody wants to go over. I've been pretty quiet on this, if you haven't realized, on Twitter, and that's for a reason. So this is all going down, and we're about to get all of the answers, or at least the
what are we gonna
majority of
get?
the answers.
What are we going to get?
in a couple weeks.
What's gonna come out?
Well,
What are they going to tell the plebs? Us.
Yasir wants it to be done before the Masters.
Yasir
that-
wants what to be done? The
All of this. The
here's the
dealings.
deal. That's what we're doing.
Because Yasir has an ego, just like anybody does, right?
Yeah.
But Yasir wants to be in front of the camera, being the winner in all of this.
That chaperone this deal and
is on the board now, the PGA Tour. He still wants his, like, in the original framework agreement and emails that went back and forth that got disclosed to the U.S. Senate was the fact that he wanted to be a member of Augusta National and the RNA. So
All right. Guy's bold.
he's shooting his fucking shot is what he's doing.
I mean, I kind of love that.
You can't hate it.
No.
I mean, if you had a chance to join Augusta National, or you're in this position of power, you're not going to tell me that you're going to try to go and get that done. I mean, I would. All right. So Ziggy's back. Ziggy's a lover of you. Here we go.
Zig,
so he
what's
goes,
up,
hey,
brother?
Buttsy, me and my homie versus you and whoever you want. Straight up $500.
Oh, you better bring a bigger checkbook than that, dude. I'm hood rich. Did you see this fucking watch, baby?
$500 on it.
You want to
so-
play for $500? Is that what you're saying?
Ziggy.
I'll take Matt right here.
He's got a partner.
We'll
bud.
fucking roll you up in a blunt and
don't
smoke
want,
you.
Ziggy, you don't want that.
You don't
bud.
want this.
You don't want that.
Ah, Matt's gonna put it in play.
Ziggy.
We're gonna have. Yeah, you're gonna fucking.
I make a
lose that.
lot of pars.
No, and he hits
You
the golf
don't-
ball on the golf course very
you
often.
don't want that.
They don't know. They don't know you.
Nobody knows me. That's the
They don't
funny
know. I
thing.
played with this
Like-
guy now a few times. It's very impressive. Ball striker, folks.
And by the way, you don't want me in a team aspect because I'm like Rory. I'm going to have a few fuck ups, but otherwise I am just class.
I'll tell you what. You shoot me a
Here we go.
DM.
Ziggy's back.
You shoot me a DM on Instagram.
Ziggy goes +1, big dog. Ziggy.
Plus
You're
one.
gonna have
Anybody
to
that
bring,
says
you're
that.
gonna have to bring a lot more than a +1.
Anybody that says I'm a +1 openly to another man, I'm just gonna say there's no need to rectify how good you are by putting that in a comment.
Ziggy,
And
I'm going to
I'm
tell
not
you
hating.
right now.
I'm
I'm
not
going to tell
hating.
you right now. I've
But
been working on my handicap.
+1
to get
is not
to
gonna get it done.
in the opposite direction.
I'll play any +1 on the planet. And in a team event, hey, you fly your ass out here. You bring your $500. You put it on the table, and we'll get it done. And we'll broadcast it.
And Ziggy, I love that from you, man. Bring the heat, bro. Bring the heat. Here he is again.
I love
Here
you.
we go. We've got True North. You don't want that.
No,
You don't want
you
that.
don't. It's like a home course at this point.
That is a home course for Buttsy. It's not even a home course for me. But that course plays too short for me. You know that.
It does. It does.
I had 3-wood off the first and fucking almost hit it through the fairway.
You did? Yeah.
All right.
So we're gonna have to start filming these little weird.
Back tee, little guy.
Oh, look at him!
I think he's calling me because you're not calling him a little guy.
No, that's not possible.
Here we go. Hang on. We got more. We got more from Ziggy. He's an AZ. Perfect. Love that out of you. And then what do you
want
got
the
here?
smoke?
We've got home course for Ziggy. Now we got a little action out of anti-live. Ziggy Country Club +1 doesn't count +1. Wizzy needs a different level. Oh, anti-live coming in strong tonight.
Do people not know that we can play golf?
I don't think people think that we can actually
I think they
play.
see. Well,
well,
look, I've put out a lot of videos on Instagram of me just absolutely hacking it around. But
well,
that's
you
on.
also posted some
It's
stories
on
of me
purpose,
hitting
though.
fat shots in
Yeah.
the waters
Well,
and
you-
fucking about you.
It's way better to post yourself failing than it is succeeding. Now, that's
It's way more
contrary
fun.
to the rest of the YouTube crowd and all these little fuckboys out there. They show off the best of the best.
Oh, I love showing off the worst of the worst.
Yeah, show the worst, and then we get a match, and then we go, uh-oh, what
You know
happened?
what's actually funny about that?
Yeah.
Mikey Perez in the beginning, we started shooting some on-course content,
Oh, buddy.
and he got so mad at me for posting like his worst moments, and then he started getting the hang of it. He was like, "Oh, I get why
No,
we're
this
doing
is-
this."
you have
He's
to
like,
show
"This
off.
is great."
You got to look like you don't have a game to fucking beg with, and you got to look like you're trying to be that guy. Let's get back. Where are we at here? Let's
okay.
finish this and then get back into Ziggy.
Yeah, we'll get to
We got
your-
some content
All
to
right,
cover here, Zig.
Ziggy, anti-live, whoever
tight.
else, go ahead. No, add as many comments
Sit
as you
tight,
want.
add your
because
comments.
we're going to get to your Q&A here in a minute. All right? We've got some live golf action that we got to get into, okay? As
excuse me.
we start to get into the Q&A at the end.
Go ahead, Maddie. Where are we at?
I got a little gas.
God damn it! This always happens to me on this fucking podcast on Tuesdays.
What is happening to you?
Well, dude, I sit here and get a little loose and have a few beers.
All right. Live Golf, which they did not have an event this week. I asked.
Sadly.
I wanted to remove the Live haters and then ask, because it was like, okay, do you not like there being long breaks?
Got a little love.
Love
from
that
the
from the
bartenders.
bartenders.
You hear
Love
that?
that.
Hear a little something over there, boys. All right, very good.
So, with Live Golf, I'm like, do you guys hate the fact, I didn't put it that way, but I'm like, does it annoy you or something along those lines that Live Golf takes these long breaks? I put yes, no, and then I put don't care,
Where'd
don't
you do that?
watch.
Is that Twitter? Is that
Yeah.
X? Yeah, okay.
Which, there was a lot of, they care. They care about the fact that there are these long
These
breaks.
hiatuses, yeah.
These hiatuses. And so right now we're in a hiatus, which the Asian Tour Macau. You understand? Macau.
Patty P.
Patty P.
Looking real
was
good.
like a first round leader.
I'll tell you a funny story.
Please do share this because this is great. I heard this on
dude.
Sunday.
Text him. Hey, I want to go play Silverleaf. What are you doing today? You fucking idiot. I'm 2 back in Macau. About to start the third round.
By the way, you fucked him up because from that point
Didn't work
forward,
after that.
terrible.
That's happened every time I text him during a tournament, so I got to just shut up about that.
Yeah. So you got Live Golf was really the dominant part of the field. You had Anthony Kim, Carlos Ortiz, David Puig. You had Pat Perez, Sebastian Munoz, Jason Kokrak, Hudson Swafford, Lucas Herbert, Mito Pereira, Patrick Reed, Andy Ogletree. I feel like I'm doing like a
That
DUI
is
test.
unbelievable that
Graham
you're able to
McDowell,
recite
Ian
that.
Poulter, Sergio Garcia, Kaye Samuja, Karen Vincent, Eugenio
Basically
Shikara,
everybody.
Wade Ormsby, HV3, and then you got former Live players in Siwon Kim,
Holy
James
shit.
Piot, and Jedediah Morgan, who we talked about on the last broadcast. And guess who the fucking winner was? John Catlin from America. What the fuck?
Who is John Catlin?
No fucking clue. But I do ask you the question. Is this disappointing to see a non-Live golfer win this event?
Yeah, especially when a Live golfer has almost won or has won the last 3 majors. Like to see
All right, people that have gone to Live, okay? You got Brooks, who wants to come back to the PGA
hang
Tour.
on.
You've got John Rahm, who won the Masters,
I gotta-
who then came over. Runner-up was David Puig, which
Puig.
his name is spelled like Puig, like Yasiel
I
Puig.
don't know who that is. Do you?
Yeah.
Talk about him.
Torquay, bro. But I thought it was Puig, but it's Puig.
Was Pugh on the PGA Tour?
No, he came straight out of college.
How old?
Young rising star. I think he's like 19 or 20.
How much money did he walk on there with?
Not much. Like
What's not
maybe
much?
A mil?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just like a baseball player signing out of college.
Yeah. Coming straight out of school, going to the NBA. And you got Lucas Herbert, who we were ripping on last week
Yeah.
for the calf socks.
Yep.
He finished third. We got I almost got us into a defamation lawsuit. Patrick Reed finished fourth. Which, by the way, media won every single battle against Patrick Reed.
Oh,
Every single
my
one of his
God.
cases got thrown out about defamation.
Good.
You got Jason Kokrak, T5, with somebody else that I didn't know. And then, again, is this disappointing that Live Golf could not pull the victory in Macau?
In Macau.
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 Macau. It is for me.
Fuck, it's one tournament, man. I mean,
Yeah, but God, you guys are supposed to be like.
and we got a
top
guy that
level.
won that apparently it's a breakthrough and nobody's ever heard of him. Journeyman. How old is that guy that won?
Fuck if I know.
That's what I'm saying. Like
John Catlin. He's playing on the Asian Tour as an American.
John
How
Catlin.
old do you think he is?
35.
56.
That's not true.
No, it's not.
That's not. I saw a picture of him.
idea.
Jesus Christ. He's like Benjamin Button then.
All right.
Like he's going backwards.
That's all we got for Live Golf, folks. Hopefully it's still around. I've loved their broadcast this year, so I'm hoping that it stays Live Golf, but all signs are pointing towards it becoming a rebranded PGA Tour entity here in the near future. And that wraps up tonight's episode. Thank you so much, Buttsy. I'm Matt Cook, and thank you to Swanies.co. Utilize promo code PoleHookGolf25 at checkout for 25% off your entire order. Also, Bushwood Spirits, by the way, get that Looper bottle right there. Get that vodka. If you are a vodka Red Bull guy, that's
your
beautiful.
shit right
If
there.
you love Bloody Marys, that's your guy right there. But also their whiskey is unbelievable. Go to utilize Polehook Golf 20 for 20% off
20%.
your entire order at bushwood.com.
You really had an enunciation problem tonight. I'm here for
Dude, love
it.
it.
Holy shit.
All day. I grinded today.
Some
but
days
that's
you're like that.
Sometimes that I get going so
Yeah.
much that like,
Well, you develop a
blanks.
palsy. I get it.
but peace out, everybody. Thank you for the podcast.